Green light. Let's get going. Running behind. Let me go post the link on our website. Copy. Denver Guitar Orchestra is the website. You'll find our daily schedule and sheet music there. And shift link. Enter. Edit. Settings. Open a new window. Update and update. Alright, so that's posted there. Let's go put this over on Twitter. Patience. Instrumental guitar number 276. HTTPS. Denver Guitar. Did I say DenverGuitarOrchestra.com? That's where you go. DenverGuitarOrchestra.com. That pops up. Go up here to guitar. Put on that little video, little JPEG there. Click that. Click there. Alright, got that. And let me view this page, and that should get us set up for the week. Close that down. Scroll here. Make sure the link works properly. It does. 276 guitar broadcast in 1 year. That's crazy. Good morning, everybody. Today we are playing. What are we playing? Why did I close the website? Come back here, website. Today we are playing the final song in book 1, which is Three Blind Mice. At the end of the week, probably Thursday, we'll talk about composing and arranging. That's something that we always end up having to do at the end of book 1, in the sense that, hey, there are ways that we can use this stuff we have learned to turn it into music, and we're not just playing Three Blind Mice. We're also obviously going to play Segovia's pattern. We've been working on the first half of the A minor. Until I get that memorized, we'll be on that. We're also playing Buffalo Gals and Happy Birthday Today. That's our book 2 and book 3 songs. And so that's where we are today. Sound is good, and it's sunny up in Eugene. It's a perfect day in Eugene. I see my microphone is over here just a little bit. I got to get that off. So it seems like I'm just talking, and you won't even know that I'm here, that I have all this stuff to make these broadcasts. Let's see. Wow, and we're on a massive delay. Isn't that something? It still hasn't moved. It took, how long did it take to get? There's a full minute delay, it looks like. There we go. I finally moved it there. So that's how long it takes. That's how long the delay is. Elizabeth, 31 degrees when I went to the store. Oh, you went to the store this morning. You're ambitious. Good for you, Elizabeth. Not so much for me. Let's go grab those Segovia scales. I did get in late today, and I apologize. Let's go grab our Segovia scales and take a look at measure 2. And see how we're doing on that. Again, I haven't started focusing in on alternating fingers on this, but theoretically, index, middle, and then middle, index. We'll play, usually index, middle, going the first time through, and the second time through switch middle, index. I still struggle with that mightily, so do what you do, don't do what Gary does. How about that? Let's give it a try, starting in 5th position from the top. Good morning, Pauline. 53 degrees. Expected to reach 75. Oh, that sounds like a perfect day up in NoCal, right? Just lovely. Every day in Northern California is pretty good, I think. From the top, measure 2, we just go up to fret 17 and then we'll stop. We are not coming back down yet. Okay, so I mean, obviously at your house you may be doing it, but here on the broadcast, I'm still trying to memorize the pattern, and then I'm going to get focused in on getting my finger alternation correct. Let's give it a try from measure 2 all the way up to fret 17, starting in 5th position, and your index finger. 1, 2, ready, play. playing a very cool scale, but I'm not sure it's the one written on the paper. I want to go to the stop again. I apologize. I don't know what I was playing there. It was very beautiful, though. 1, 2, ready, play. Close. Give it a try again from the top. 1, 2. By the way, do you hear that kind of weird sound in there? There's sort of this murky weirdness to it. It's a little more macabre than the C major pattern we've been doing the last few weeks. That's that minor feeling into it. It's got those lowered thirds and raised fifths, sixes and sevenths, and it's actually got this really cool overall feeling to it. Let's give it a try. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 11. What did I do wrong? 9. What did I do wrong? Oh, I think I forgot the 12. One more time. I apologize. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's a cool pattern. It really is. I don't like that part that goes up to 17, but the first two octaves. So if you decided, hey, I'm going to stop at an octave, you're going to look for you start at your low A. You're looking for your high A, which is at a 10 on the second string there. That's your high note. And so that finishes your second octave. And so the other one is just window decoration, 12, 13, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. But yeah, it's a fun scale. It's got a cool sound to it. I'm going to get it right. You're going to get it right. We're going to be really tremendously important musicians when we're all done with this. All right. Let's grab our schedule for the day and just tell you what's going on. We are finishing up book 1 today. Not today, this week. And so 3 Blind Mice will be our discussion Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And guys, I have a regular week this week, so I don't think there's anything going on other than, I did include Thursday, and we won't be meeting Thursday night, so I need to fix that. So I'm going to go put that on there right now before I forget. Thursday 000 space no meeting whoops meeting tonight. All right, so no meeting Thursday night, and but the daytime classes are normal, right? So we'll be here every day, and it's going to be lovely. And so 3 Blind Mice is the song for the week. On Thursday, we'll spend a little bit of time talking about how you can use the 4 chords that you've learned in book 1 to write your own music. And then today we're working on Buffalo Gals level 2 and Happy Birthday for level 3. So relatively easier tunes today for level 2 and level 3. And if you're looking for a song that's going to really make your week, go look at Hyde and Rosaline. That's coming tomorrow. It's a beautiful song. There's 1 chord in there that's weird, but it's a song what most Americans don't know, and it's just got this really, really lovely melody to it. And then we have a new arrangement on Thursday, House of the Rising Sun. I have basically got it finished, and I want to do that. Also, I decided this morning, actually, that our classical song of the week I'm going to introduce on Tuesdays, because usually on Mondays I spend a little bit more time on the book one song. So I do have it done. I've played through it a bunch of times. I think it's right. It's the same song as the DGO Super Secret Song #1, but I tabbed it out, and that way, for those of you guys who want to not have the tabs, you can just not download that one. And those of you who do want the tab, and it'll be there, so you'll have both of those, and so I'll get those posted this afternoon, and then we will play. So we're only going to do one classical song a week, because honestly that's plenty, and the idea with classical tunes is that you master them, and and we start relatively simply, and then so we would just have one a week going forward. I think that's plenty. They're lovely, but they're just, I don't know, they just don't have that same sense of, hey, we're just having fun on guitar, which is what I'm here for. So Three Blind Mice. Get a new chord today for those of you who are newer. G chord is the hardest chord that you have to learn as a beginner. Index finger on the 5 strings up, 2nd fret. Middle finger's top string, 6 strings up on the 3rd fret. Ring finger is down here on the bottom fret, bottom string, 1st string, 3rd fret. And so that's where we start. Okay. And there will be no days in your life when you pick up a guitar that you don't play a G chord. So getting a good handle on that one. Now there are 3 other shapes we actually talk about with G chord. This is the main shape. You will see lots and lots of pros, and even into when we begin on book 3, I believe, we actually start adding in this fancier G chord. So in that G chord, take this take your ring finger, move it up 1 string, same fret, and then add your pinky bottom string where your ring finger normally goes, so that you have all 4 fingers in play, your ring fingers on the 2nd string and your pinky fingers on the 1st string. You get a little punchier high end on the chord, which helps balance out this big rumbling low end you get in G. It's one of my ongoing dilemmas when arranging music, is this G chord that just rings forever, and it's super heavy, and it can overload a melody. But if you use 2 fingers on it, it makes the bottom end punchier, and you get a little bit more evenly balanced G chord. Okay, so I would say this is the one I use typically for a G chord. This is the one that you will use a lot in place of that chord. And then some of you guys have taken folk music on guitar, and they teach you this one, where you take everybody off. Instead of your index finger, use your middle finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret. Then your ring finger, 6th string, 3rd fret. And then your pinky finger is all that's left, so it has to go on the 1st string of your 3rd fret. Now, same exact shape, just different fingers, right? So that's what this chord's all about. I typically don't use that. I don't like this shape at all, but it's just because I don't use it a lot. But that shape's going to make this finger available. Your index finger suddenly becomes available. And that's very helpful, and we'll even be using that in this arrangement of Three Blind Mice when we talk about the tough acts. This is by far the hardest tough acts in book 1. The reason we use this shape is that it leaves this finger open, so that if you have a G7 roll by, you just have to pick this pinky up, and then your index finger drops over here on 1. Okay, and that's going to come up a lot, that chord. And a lot of times it will be in conjunction with a G chord. So that's why sometimes this shape is preferred. The other reason we prefer this shape is that it's not uncommon to have a 2 on the 3rd string show up. Or, I'm sorry, the 4th string. 3rd string. 2 on the 3rd string show up. And it will come up in this song, as a matter of fact, because you're going to play 3 blind mice. And so having an index finger available to get to that note is super helpful. And you'll see that your G string, it's an A note. It's used as a transitional moment in a lot of songs when you're playing a G. You'll see this A note happen in the process of getting somewhere else. So that's why we use this shape in this particular tough axe arrangement. So we leave him available. He's also, in this particular song, he's going to be playing this note right here, this F sharp, down in measure 5, I believe, 5 and 7, and I think also in 9, we're going to be playing that note there. And so having the ability to lift this up and use that index finger to get to melody notes is another reason to use this. The third reason to use this shape is that it's much easier to get to your C chord this way. Your C chord is going to be 1st fret, 2nd string, and then these two guys will just drop down 2 strings, and now you have a C chord on. And so that's why folk music and pop music, people use this shape a lot, because they've got their G7 and its best friend is C, and then you can actually drop these 2 fingers down 2 more, and now you have a sort of an F chord. You really have a F major 7 or minor 7, right? But if you flatten this finger out, you get a normal F chord. So this is a very useful shape, middle, ring, and pinky, if you are playing in certain keys. And you'll see a lot of singers will memorize this pattern, and then they will use a capo various places on here. Then they only have to memorize 3 chords. And it turns out to be super handy. In fact, they can even pull this finger over. You got your A minor. So you really, with 4 chords, you end up with 4 shapes that are pretty well related to one another. You can end up with your 4 main chords. Then you just have to put a capo on wherever you need to put that on, and off you go. When you see singers that have a guitar in front of them, if you watch their left hand, in 90% of the cases, in most cases, they're using that particular chord setup. The other chord setup you see a lot is A, D, and E, and then they will capo that one up. The reason you see less of that is that you've got to get your minor shape is actually sort of hard to do, and so you'll see them shying away from A, but they'll use C quite a bit. So let's talk. Then there's one other G shape, and this is where we get to warn you that bar chords are coming. Remember when we did the very first chord in the book is an E chord, index, middle, and ring. You can change your fingers out just like we did on that G chord, middle, ring, and pinky. You get an E chord still, you just use it, but it leaves this finger available. If we slide everybody up 1 fret and then add a bar, and then yours will sound like this, which is fine in the beginning, but what you're going for is squeeze tight enough where you get all of the notes. That's an F chord, and if you slide it up to 3, you get another G chord. And we'll be talking about this in book 2, but this chord, well, it's a G chord, and we don't use it in book 1. This chord shape we're going to use a lot, starting in book 2 and going forward, this F shape, because it can become an A, and it can become a G, and an F, and become an E. It has that nice Spanish feeling that we love on guitar. And so that's the G shape that I want you to know it exists, but we won't be using it until late in book 2, and then we use it quite a bit in book 3 and almost every day in book 4. So there's that. So there's your G chord. Let's grab whichever one of those you like. I'd say just grab the easy one. Let's do 2 times through on chords. One time I want you to either thumb or pluck. And in this case, take these 3 fingers, put them on the low strings, and your thumb on the upper string. Now you're rooted. Let's do a plucks the first time through, and then the second time let's do a boom chuck. Thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck, pluck. But first time through, just use everybody. 1, 2, ready, play. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? And then go to boom chucks. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their heads with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? And then I changed the meter up to and double timed it when I got to that middle section. It felt too slow. Again, the toolbox idea here is we got a new chord, but over on this hand you still have all of your choices. Thumb down, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. You have your index finger, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, and so on. You have plucking, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run. That's just 4-finger plucking. Then you have boom chucks, thumb, pluck, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. And then we didn't do it, but you are already starting to, we'll be heavy covering it starting in book 2 and then heavily in book 3. Thumb, index, middle, ring. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. So you've got lots of right hand choices. When you start a new song, go through the chords and do all of those different things. Whether you ever sing or not isn't important. You will at some point have a singer that wants to sing a song, and that's when you're like, okay, fine, I'll do the chords. And having your right hand in good shape will make that a much more pleasant experience. Let's play the melody. It's 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s. So first position. The 1s you play with your index finger, 2s you play with your middle finger, 3s you play with your ring finger, 4s you play with your pinky finger, and there are no 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. The one thing I recommend on that, at this point, probably playing melodies making sense to you. When you get to this song here, you're like, all right, I think I can get the tune out, no problem. Be paying attention when you're using the tablature. That's just to tell you where to put your fingers. You're also incorporating, your eye should be tracking up and double checking the length of your notes on the standard notation line. Tablature doesn't have the ability to show you how long to hold a note, and the systems they've come up with for that in that regard have been inferior to just using standard notation for the length of the note. It's real easy to look at the standard notation and tell your quarter notes, your eighth notes, your half notes, and your whole notes in this piece. You got all of those. You don't have any dotted notes, so this piece is very helpful for you to get you practicing to be looking at your tablature and then also looking at the standard notation at the same time. That's a skill, right, to look at both of those lines at the same time. All right, finally, let's play the tough axe. This is by far the hardest one. We'll spend the rest of the week talking about how hard this is. Grab your alternate G shape, middle, ring, and pinky. You're going to need this finger to play the melody. First beat is 5 strings down. Then your index index finger is going to grab the 2 on the 3rd string, and then it's going to come right back off, and your pinky is going to go down and get that high note. Again, 3rd string, 2nd fret, open, pinky. Okay, move your pinky to the 2nd string. You're still going to need this index finger to play the 1s, so 5 strings down. Lose the pinky, change it to the 1s, then take your 1 off. Pinky on the 1st string, move it to the 2nd string. Let that half note ring out for just a second. It's a quarter note for that 3, but let it ring for a second before you jump over to the 2nd string. And then 2 1s, and then open. Now your 3's on the 2nd string this time because it's part of the melody. They, and then put it on the 1st string. All went. Those are full G chords, and then index finger's you're gonna actually lift your pinky up and drag your elbow down just a little bit to make your attack on the 2nd fret easier. 2 0 2, and then the pinky goes up here on the top string. Jump it over to the 2nd string. Strum 3 times. Move it back to the 1st string. 8th notes, quarter note, and then put your 2 on that top string. 0 2. Elbow back out to get the 3. And then pinky onto the 2nd string. Top string. Elbow in to get the 2nd. Elbow back out to get the 3. 2nd string. Lose your 3, hit the index finger, and then open. 2nd string, decorative. 3rd string, decorative. Now add your 2 there. Decorative on the 4th string, and then open. And pinky on the 1st string. Okay. And you're like, ow. That's a big chord to have to hold. If you're new in book 1, I don't really care if you can play tough acts. This is at least level 3 difficult how hard this piece of music here is. So the level 2 songs are not this hard because you get to actually change the chord to a more convenient arrangement. But this one, boy, you're fighting this G chord all the way through. It does work. It is correct, but it's a lot of work. So if you are not, and if you're like, this is too hard, and you're in book 1, just be like, don't play it. If you have, of course, gotten into book 2 and book 3, let's play it. 1 2, ready, play. Fun part about that is these 2 fingers never move, right? And so you're able to let that sound just roll through that whole song, and it's going to create this nice sort of, I like to call it caulk and paint, you know, when you're all finished with the job and there's all these weird things that you and you're like, oh gosh, I've got to repaint this bedroom or repaint the kitchen or whatever, little paint, and then you finish up with a little caulking, and it looks great, right? Covers up all your mistakes. Same thing with this, where these 3 strings are just ringing the whole time. They're just creating this nice G buzzing along there. If you keep these 2 guys down, that sound's just going to carry through the whole song. And and then you just got to play your melody loud enough to overcome those bass notes, filling up your space. All right, there's Three Blind Mice. That's a hard song from a tough uke level, and an important song from a chording level, because it sort of introduces you, gets you ready for the idea that there's going to be, for every chord, there's going to be alternate shapes that you're going to hold. G chord is one of the most versatile chords on guitar, and you can do it 4 different ways. So that's going to get you ready thinking about that. The melody at this point is probably not a big deal. It's played entirely in first position, so hopefully it's not a big deal. If it is a big deal, you just take book 1 again, right? You just go back through book 1 until melody's starting to come together for you. Book 2 today, we are working first on we're working on Buffalo Gals. This is one of my favorite songs. I don't know why, but I love it, and luckily it's got a G chord in it, right? And then D7 to get from G over to D7. You gotta pull everybody up. Use your index finger as your approaching ping on your approach, and then these two guys, train them to be 3rd string and 1st string. Okay. G chord, we hit the top string. D7, we hit the 4th string. Okay. If you hit the 5th string on D, it'll be fine. Okay, and let's give this a try from the top. I need to make myself a note. No. I'm going to take the arpeggios out of book 2, I think, because we can talk about arpeggios in book 2, but I don't want to handwrite them out for you. I think it's confusing. All right, G chord. Just one time through to remind you how the song goes. This is you'll know this from if you are old and you watched It's a Wonderful Life. This is where they're coming back from the sock hop where they all jumped in the pool, and she's got her athletic robe on, and he accidentally steps on. They're singing Buffalo Gals when he accidentally steps on the end of her robe. The robe comes off, and she has to jump into the bush, then his cousin comes up and says his dad's in the hospital. He's had a stroke, or I think it's a stroke or a heart attack, one of the two. Anyway, his dad's going to die, so George has to rush off to the hospital, and the poor girl is left in the bush with just her athletic robe. But prior to that, they're singing Buffalo Gals, which is the last moment in George's life where he's happy. And so here we go from the top. Maybe twice through. Find yourself a fun strum pattern. 1, 2, 3. As I was walking down the street, change your chord. Down the street, a pretty little girl I chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? Let's do it one more time. I danced with a gal with her hole in her stocking, and her heel kept a knocking, and her hose kept a rocking. I danced with a gal with a hole in her stocking. We danced by the light of the moon. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? So anytime you're in 4, man, you're all set. You got a whole bunch of right-hand choices that you can make. I think the hard part of this chord structure, and this comes up a lot, getting from G all the way over to D7 and then back. Okay, and I would work on that because that's going to come up in your life in guitar. Let's play the melody again. All 3s, 1s, 2s, and 3s. So exactly the same issue as Three Blind Mice. Index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers. Let's give it a try from the top. 1, 2, 3. yeah, not, the melody's lovely. Chords are good, melody's lovely. So let's put them together in book 2. By the way, this would have been part, 1844. This would have been part of those minstrel shows they used to have. A horrible racist skit type comedy that would go from town to town, and so this song would, depending on what town you're in, you would change Buffalo out for whatever town you're in. So instead of Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? It'd be Denver gals, won't you come out tonight? Eugene gals, won't you come out tonight? Greeley gals, won't you come out tonight? So you'd change the name of the song. Buffalo gals is the one that stuck. Let's play the tough act. We'll walk through it one time, and then we'll play it a couple of times. All right. Arpeggios are difficult for me, too. Vic is mentioning that arpeggios are challenging. I would say with arpeggios, you could do yourself a huge favor by taking every song out of this book 2 and playing through singing with arpeggios. If it's in 4/4, you start with a 4 pattern. So you would go, as I was walking down the street, down the street, down the street, a pretty little girl I chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see. Start with 1 pluck per beat. That's how we start. And also, when we start, we don't switch from string to string to string. We just stick on usually the bottom 4 strings, and then just get where you're comfortable. Then, after you get, okay, 2, I can do that. So then we would double time it. So instead of 4 plucks per measure, we'll do 8 plucks a measure. Let's try it. Grab your G chord. 1, 2, 3. As I was walking down the street, down the street, down the street, a pretty little gal I chanced to meet. Oh, she was fair to see. So start with go through the book. All of the 4/4 songs do that, right? Start with just hold the chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then double time it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so you've got that 4 pattern that will always work. That will always sound beautiful. There's always going to work on guitar. It's one of the secrets. It's a secret, okay? That. And if you watch professional musicians and you watch what they're doing that a whole lot. So don't think you're doing anything particularly weird. After you do the 4/4 songs, then go back and grab the 3/4 songs and do the same pattern. Like Happy Birthday might be. Let's use. I don't remember what key Happy Birthday is in, but let's just pretend it's in G. Happy birthday to you. Is it a D7? You. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so same thing. Start with 1 pluck per beat, but now you're only in 3. And then, of course, you would try double timing it. So that doesn't always work in... So you almost have to triple time it. Happy birthday to you. Happy happy birthday to you. So like we did in a studio in E minor, we're doing 3 plucks per note per beat. So that's usually in 3/4. You almost have to do it with 9 plucks per measure because it really doesn't work with 6 plucks. So you have to do 9 plucks, and that's the harder level. We'll do it when we get to Happy Birthday, and then finally you'll eventually get to the 6/8 time pattern, and that one is thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. What child is there? Dum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum. that's what I would do. Start with your 4/4s. Do 1, 2, 3, 4. That gets your fingers learning the system. Then double time it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then go back and do your 3/4s. Do them one beat at a time. Then try to do 9 beats in a 3/4 time because of the 6 one won't work. And then finally tackle your 6/8 songs with thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, and that's 1 pluck per beat on 6/8. And I think that's the basic arpeggio pattern. Once you get that down, then you have everything you need to start messing around with those patterns. Of course, once you learn the pattern, you have to learn the pattern first and then break it out. All right, I think we were. I think before Vic distracted me, we were getting ready to play this. So let's play through it on Tough Axe. 1, 2, 3. D7, G chord, G and go back to the top, and let's play it through one more time. Ready, play. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do the pickup note. Go. So I think that piece is actually fairly challenging to play as Tough Axe because it's in the key of G, and then you've got so far to go to get to your D7s and back, and so that's a fun one to work on, I think. All right, we're not going to get to Happy Birthday today. We'll grab that tomorrow. I'll move it over into tomorrow's schedule. And but did you notice what's fascinating about this? Notice how much we learned from Three Blind Mice applies directly to every single measure in here that has a G chord in it. All of that stuff showed right back up. So you're like, oh, I'm glad I just did Three Blind Mice because now I'm set to play Buffalo Gals, and see how it's lovely how it builds on each other. So, all right. So we've got talked Three Blind Mice, key of G, arpeggio plucking, and all that. Tomorrow I will get here. I'll try really hard to get here on time. I'll talk a little bit less about books. The other songs will include Happy Birthday, and we'll also, this afternoon, I'll get posted the classical song for the week. And again, those of you guys who did it with us, the Denver Guitar Orchestra Super Secret Song #1, you guys are already set. So you already know how to play this song. Yeah, but I think I want to go through rather methodically our classical song of the week, because I'm hoping that will end up being one of the things that each week you have one song that you're going to really try to a high level and really just get it clean, right? Instead of just throwing and running through a song and then moving on to the next song and all that. So there you guys go. Hey, I'll see a few of you in harmonica. I'll see the rest of you over ukulele, and then I'll see the rest of you over tomorrow at this time, and I'll do everything I can to get started exactly at 10:05 so we can get into book 2 songs tomorrow. So Monday is always a little challenging. What are you going to do? And I will see. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's about 50 degrees and overcast here. Maybe not 50, maybe 40 degrees out there. We're supposed to get snow in the next couple of days, so the mountains are going to get pretty good. And not quite summer yet. All right, guys. Pauline, Nancy, Vic, Eva, Elizabeth, everybody else who sneaks around here. Good to see all of you guys, and good to play a little guitar on a Monday morning. I will talk to all of you. Oh, and by the way, I did send out an email, so if you did not get that email, let me know. But I did send out an email with some plans for the future, and then a revised piece of sheet music called "Here Comes the Sun." We have that already, but I revised it. So go ahead and double check that you got that email, and you sent me an email back. And I got all of them returned this morning. So if you got the email and sent me an email, you should have already gotten another email back from me. And if you have not gotten that email, check your spam box first, of course. But then send me a note, and I will forward that to you. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to pull the plug, and I will see all of you either later today or tomorrow.